Got my apple juice.
Over here? Nah, he's too good for us. Good, man. How
Good.
you? I see
Doing good.
we all four escaped out of there, and not really big problems, other than maybe that three. But uh, yeah, yeah. Hey, Rick, thanks for joining us tonight.
Yeah, no problem.
We see that you are at home finally.
I am.
So how long was you out till from the last time you left home till now?
Oh my God. We left in the beginning of last December, and we are just literally on Friday night. This past Friday night is when we got in. And so I had to grab everything out and like all my sim gear, take everything out of the camper, get it back in the house, get it all connected, and be ready for the race yesterday. So it was a mad dash for sure.
So, if you don't mind, Rick, I mean, your wife just popped in there a second ago. Explain why you can pull that poster board up if you want. Explain why you have to race in a camper a lot of times.
So my wife is a travel nurse. I retired. I was in the Air Force for 20 years,
Well, thank you
and
for your service.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. It was I loved being in the Air Force, and did that for 20 years, and then I worked as a civilian for another 6, and then after that, I my wife, like I said, she's a travel nurse. She was regular nurse at the time, and then basically she was looking into travel nursing, and she was like, you know what, I can make literally as much money as you're making and I'm making right now in 2 weeks travel nursing, and we have another 2 weeks, and my retirement pays for all my house bills and everything like that. So I was like, heck yeah, sign me up. I'll retire again and drive you around and do my thing. And but the one condition was I said I have to be able to figure out a way to sim race while we're going. So like while we were looking at campers, like we were looking for campers specifically with I need to have a space that I can make work into a sim racing area for me to be able to still do my racing while I'm out.
That's awesome.
So, with your wife being a traveling nurse, is it a lot to do with the COVID or just whatever?
So it started out, yes, a lot of it had to do with COVID in the beginning. Our first three 2 or 3 contracts actually were all COVID related, and then after that, it started to, die down with the vaccination and everything, and so now we're doing, like, regular contracts, but it's still pretty, lucrative. I mean, they you get these hospitals, and they'll have a shortage where, maybe 2 or 3 of their nurses are pregnant or they wanna take time off or whatever, something's going on, and so they bring in travelers that come in from, wherever, and basically pay them to, keep the staffing up so that everybody can still get the care that they need.
So, I mean, that is awesome. And again, thank you for your service, and especially thanks to your wife for what she's doing. I mean, that takes a hell of a person to just pack up a trailer and leave. I
And
guess.
the fact that she has to adapt all the time to a different setting
Yeah,
in a different area and different people. It's not like you go in and do the same thing every
yeah,
day. She's
you would be surprised
adapting.
how many different systems there are out there, and she has to get training on each of them when she goes in. She gets, like usually, honestly, they only give her, like, usually a couple days to kinda learn the system, and then they just kinda throw her out on the floor, and then she's gotta just do her thing. But, I mean, some of these places, she's had so much experience at this point that our last place we were at was in Oklahoma, and they literally made her like a shift lead a few times because she had more experience than the people that were working there, like, full time. So they would just put her in charge basically of the floor.
So I caught a couple things you said there, and it's just a funny observation that I've seen. And I know your wife's watching right now. You said we go to here and we have to work doing this. We do this kind of job. And I'm thinking your wife right now is saying, "We hell, there is not a mouse in my pocket. I do the work. You sit on your ass racing." So, is that the gist of it?
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, for at this point, all I do is I drive the truck, get us there, I set up, I watch the dogs, I make the dinner. I'm basically the house bitch at
Yeah,
this
you're
point.
you're the RV wife.
House bitch, she says. That's funny.
But hey, I mean, I'll take it. I get to race, I get to hang out, I smoke
Right,
a cigar out on this outside my camper, just chill out, have a beer, do whatever, you know,
right.
it's a good life.
So I want to get in. Go ahead, Corey.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah,
that was
John and, Brad were stationed together. I believe it was in uh, actually, John's probably gonna chime in here and tell me where they were at, but I think it was like Mississippi or New Orleans or something like that. And then Brad and I were stationed when I was in Korea, and then Casey and Brad were stationed together in Alaska, Barksdale, Louisiana. Yeah. And so yeah, we've all been stationed together, other than my dad. My dad's the only one we haven't been, all stationed at the same time together. But my dad actually was a retired Air Force as well. So I mean, we're all Air Force.
so
That's awesome.
There, I
John.
think I fixed it.
John puts in there. He was in Parksdale Air Force Base in Louisiana. I guess LA's Louisiana. I hope it
Yes,
is.
yes,
Okay.
Louisiana.
So that brings me up to a question for you. The Speed Mafia. Where did that name come from? Because what is there four? I think it's 4 or 5 of you guys. I can't remember.
So honestly, I wish I had a better story for this, but I
Dude,
really don't. So
you can
basically, what
bullshit us
happened?
if you want.
Yeah, I mean, I could, but the real story is that we were in another team with some other Air Force guys, and that team was called A Force. This was before John was with us, but it was that team was called A Force, and I was just like kind of tired of how that guy was running the team, and so I was like, "We're just gonna go off and do our own thing." So Brad and I like went off and did our own thing, and I was tired of everything ending in a racing for all the teams. It was like such and such racing team, such and such motorsports, and I was like, everything was that, and I was just like, I want something different and something that stands out, and so I was like, let's make it Speed Mafia. Something different, and it doesn't like have the same kind of ending as everything else does, and hopefully it stands out. And I just thought it was kind of badass sounding, so I was like, yeah, we'll go
Yeah.
with that.
It is pretty cool. I mean, when you guys get, y'all, all of you's always in front of me, but you see that Speed Mafia sign on the back of all your guys' car. I think that's pretty cool. You guys have a kind of like what we do at T&A. I think we all have a T&A Motorsports somewhere on our car.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's pretty cool. You guys can do that. One big thing, you and I have talked about this before in a broadcast. I think it was last season or 2 seasons ago. I want to bring your dad into this, Fred.
Okay.
So Fred now he should be 74. Am I right?
75.
Oh shit. Okay, so it's been a minute. So
Yeah.
what got your dad involved in this? What brought you guys both doing this together in Speed Mafia?
Okay. So I brought him in. He basically, so the reason why I like NASCAR is because of my dad. Like, he used to take me to races all the time when I was a kid. I used to go to Langley Speedway. I grew up in Virginia, like literally 15 minutes away from Langley Speedway. And so my dad used to take me every weekend. Him and my grandpa, we'd all go to Langley Speedway for the weekend for Saturday night races every single week. And that was just kind of our thing when we were growing up. And so it kind of grew into me loving NASCAR off of that and loving racing. And I kind of got away from it for a while, and Brad actually introduced me to the Papyrus software. At the time, I think it was NASCAR Racing 2002. I think it wasn't even the 2K3 one. It was like either the 2K, I think it was the 2002 version. And that's when we were in Korea. And I'll get a little bit more into that if you want at that point. But later on, my dad started seeing what I was doing racing online. He thought it was really cool, and he would like to just sit there and watch all the time. And after a while, I was like, Dad, why don't you just come in and race with us? I mean, we're having a blast, and me being in the Air Force at the time, I wasn't able to be like next to him or nearby with him. We would always be like two different places, and so it kind of just turned into like how everybody, I don't know, most people like sit there and they'll maybe call their parents like every so often and have like a telephone conversation. Us racing every week, that's kind of like our weekly catch up. Like we get to sit there and BS and talk to each other and spend time together. And even if we're not like necessarily close to each other, like as far as proximity, we still get to hang out with each other and both have fun doing something. So like it turned into that whole deal.
That's awesome.
Well, I could probably speak for basically everybody in Blazing Pedals. Fred has got to be one of the coolest guys on the track. I don't believe I've ever heard him get pissed off at anybody.
He really doesn't for the most part. I've heard him only honestly, the maddest I've ever heard him get is the one time that he wrecked me. It's the maddest I think I've heard him get while he was racing. Usually he'll get like kind of a little bit frustrated here and there if somebody like doesn't give him a chance to get out of their way. But I mean, like most people know if they race with him, they're just like, yeah, it's Fred. He'll get out of the way at some point and move over. He knows he's not the fastest guy out there. He's not there to win races. He's just out there to have fun and run around the track and feeling like he includes with everybody else. I mean, would he like to win a race? Absolutely, he would love to win a race. But he also shows up to the track with reasonable expectations, and he knows, he's not the fastest guy out there, but he has fun. He enjoys racing around everybody. The worst thing that Honestly, the thing that would make him feel the worst is being in the way and causing someone else to get wrecked. Like, he would rather wreck himself and be out of the race than wreck somebody else and ruin somebody else's race. So, like, he he's very he's really good about that, and honestly, I tell him, like, he sometimes like, we were talking about it earlier, Amanda and I, like, he didn't even wanna race the road course last night because he was too worried he was gonna be in somebody's way, and I was like, "Dad, you're not gonna be in anybody's way. Everybody
That's
knows."
when I said, "Hey, just tell him I'm racing. Amanda's gonna
Yeah.
race. He's gonna be
I'm
in
like,
everybody's way. It's okay."
That was
"They
my next
they're not
question:
gonna be."
why he didn't race. So
Yeah,
now we know.
His
actually,
phone didn't work.
yeah, so he had a legitimate excuse. I haven't gotten over there to check it yet, but I'm planning to go over and check it tomorrow. He says his sound isn't working on his computer.
Ah,
And, he's a little bit older, so sometimes he has problems with the computer type stuff, and so I end up having to go over and kinda be his IT guy and, figure that
It's
out.
magically gonna be fixed when you get there. Oh, I turned it on. It's
Yeah.
fixed.
It could be, that could be, because let me tell you what, he finds reasons sometimes, and I think he'll even admit it. He does not like road courses at all.
yeah, I think that's pretty much all of us.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't think a lot of people really do.
So, Rick, I want to go over something. How did you? Okay, well, actually, you already told me that. I ain't that drunk yet, Corey. So I'm not going to ask that question again. How he got started? Now we know how he got started. But
How do you feel the leagues come?
Well, the crazy thing is to get a little bit further with how I got started, like, I've been doing this, like, since 2000,
it shows.
and so it's been a while that I've been racing online, and to the point where, like, when I met my wife, like, I hid that I raced online because I was scared what she was gonna think about how invested I was in it while we were dating. And at some point, I was like, I'm gonna have to tell her because, like, I'm basically spending certain nights every week doing this, and she's gonna think I'm out with somebody else when I'm not. And so I basically had to be like, "Okay, this is what's going on." She was like, "Okay." And so I had to, like, literally explain it all. But yeah, I mean, like, literally, I liked racing so much that I was getting up. Brad and I were both getting up at on Saturday morning at 8 o'clock in the morning, I think, something like that crazy, like early in the morning on Saturday to race a race that was happening on Friday night in the United States because we were in Korea. And
Oh wow,
so, because it was already the next day, we'd have to wake up the next morning to race the night before in the league that we were racing in.
that's nuts, man.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that is
dedication
crazy.
does that. But the dedication you've given, not just to Blazing Pedals, but to oh shit, your ASRL and stuff like that. I mean, it shows. I mean, the way you're in the top a lot, man, and I
I
give
don't
you
know.
that.
This year I've been Mr. Number finishing 11th. Like every single race, I feel like I finish 11th every race.
Well, let's see what you do last night.
11th.
Yeah,
Started
yeah. I was
19th,
trying to
ended
get that 11th
11th.
spot from him.
Oh, trust me, I told you earlier, Corey. I'm gonna be on there tomorrow with Corey. I have to beat him. I have to stay in front of him. I can't let him pass me because I'm never gonna hear it tomorrow. I'm gonna hear the end of it.
And right now you're sitting 11th in points also. So you didn't change from this week from last or our last race either.
Wow.
So I see your wheel. I don't know what the heck you got there. So give us a rundown on what rig you're using there with your wheel pedals, shifter, and stuff like that.
So my pedals, I have Husing. I don't know how to pronounce it. It's like Husinkfeld, whatever. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it.
Never heard of it.
Yeah. Well, they're not cheap, but
Yeah,
they're from
I think I have heard of those before.
yeah.
So I think I was
They're
looking at those, and then I bought the V3 inverted ones.
yeah. I like them a lot, honestly, because they're really good with the brake. They've uh, taught me to not brake as much as I used to. But I have those for pedals. I have a Fanatec Fanatic. I think it's Fanatec is how you say it, but I
I
don't know.
think it is too.
I don't know.
But I have the Club Sport 2.5 wheelbase, and then the Universal steering column thingamajigger with a like a Momo actual race
Looks like
steering
I got,
wheel on top of it.
looks like I got a shit ton of buttons on it right there where your hand's sitting. Is that buttons up
Yeah.
the top? Oh my god.
Yeah, so there's buttons like right here, and then these are buttons that are up at the top, and then I've also got some more buttons, and then I actually have a button box as well that you probably can't see over to the right over here as well. It's one of those DST Derek Spear Designs boxes on the right.
I don't know. Well, I don't want to get you in trouble, but does your wife realize how much money you got sitting right there?
Yeah, she does.
Don't be a narc, Terry.
Yeah, right.
Exactly. I'm trying to get a new computer.
Okay.
So
So
shh.
I think you've been in the league, Blazing Pedals League, for 3 seasons, maybe 4.
I don't remember when actually I have no clue. I ran with Mark in Cesra, and then when that whole thing started to implode, that's when I was like, I gotta find something else. And actually, honestly, I was looking for a Sunday night league, and Mark and Derek Paulson, I think, were the two guys that were like, "Hey, come over to Blazing Pedals, like, a bunch of good guys over here racing." And so I was like, "Cool, let's do it." So I jumped in from there, and I've been
Derek,
having a blast ever since.
Derek was giving you shit a little bit ago.
Terry's one of the original 185.
I am. Terry is, isn't he? I'm not. I don't think I am.
Jesus, man. Yeah, Derek was giving you shit a minute ago. Actually, he's giving Fred shit, said he's a troublemaker. But and we know Fred's not. So I'm going to ask this question. I don't give a shit if you guys laugh at me or not. So you've been with us, you've been with Sesher, other groups. What are your thoughts on the Blazing Pedal? How do you think it's? I mean, be honest and shit, dude. If there's something we can change, we'd be more glad, maybe.
Dude, honestly, I love racing Sundays. I love racing so much on Sundays in the Blazing Pedals that I wanted to find another league that was close to kind of a similar mentality during the week because my wife gives me two nights a week that I get to race. And so I was like, I need to find another night during the week that's okay with her, that I can find another, you know, series that I have as much fun that I have on Sundays. And so that's why after a while I just couldn't find anything, and I ended up like deciding I just made my own basically.
And I know, I think, Corey, you get into ASRL, right?
Yeah, I race ASRL.
Yeah, as I
I
know
race
Aaron
both.
does too. But I tell you what, I enjoyed. I wish I could do it every Wednesday, but I just can't get home in time to do it. So,
Well,
but
we've been trying to get the times and everything fixed up for as many people as we can. Because honestly, like I said, I love racing with everybody on Sunday, and I'm trying to pull. I mean, obviously, I'm trying to pull as many people as I can, but I'm especially targeting Blazing Pedals drivers because I enjoy racing with everybody in the Blazing Pedals league.
And
So,
that's one of the reasons that I finally, not that I was fighting it or anything, but I had mentioned it before. The first round when you were trying to get us in,
right.
or get me in and stuff too, it was a little just too late and I got up really early. And now that it's a little earlier, and then I saw that there was more guys that I recognized, said I don't want to have to learn new tracks and new drivers and everything. I love being able to jump in and see this some of the same guys and everything. It's fun and I really enjoy it. I was annoyed that we missed Wednesday, but at the same time happy because what was it, Gateway? I didn't want to run
Yeah.
Gateway,
It was
but we
fun,
worked all
honestly.
I
day.
love
I
Gateway. Just
enjoyed it.
we worked late that night and we got home. I think we didn't get home till like a little after 6, and we needed to shower, eat, and all that. So
Yeah.
But I enjoy the Wednesday league. At first, I was like, it's just gonna be too much with everything, and then I always need extra practice. It's gonna take so much time, and I look forward to Wednesday nights pretty much as I do on Sundays.
Well, Mark has really helped out a lot, and I've been, like I said, I mean, when you go into the Discord between the two, like you can see that we tried to make it very similar, and we tried to emulate as much as we could, basically using Blazing Pedals as the blueprint for what we were trying to do, and try to keep it, familiar for everybody, for people like Amanda. Like if you come over, I want you to be able to find everything, feel comfortable, come
Yeah,
over,
I
want to
actually
just jump right
realized
in
that
and go.
too because I didn't have any clue. I had heard about Discord at work through different guys I worked with and everything, but I never knew what Discord was. So when we jumped in and he showed me how to use it for Blazing Pedals, I was like, oh. And then when I got into your guys' league, I was like, oh, I can navigate this just as easily. And I actually noticed, I'm like, it's kind of very similar. So it
Yeah,
definitely
that's
was helpful.
intentional. That's intentional. So I mean, and Mark even like, I think the first time I did it, I think Mark even was like, "Oh, looks kind of familiar," and I was like, "Heck yeah, it does," because I'm trying to do exactly what you guys are doing.
Trust me, that went around a lot. Oh, look at Rick. He's trying to make everything like Blazing Pedals, which is cool. I mean, like you just said, we can all
I
jump in
mean,
there and know
I
what the
feel
hell's
like
going on.
I feel like it's the best form of flattery, right? Try
Yeah,
to
yeah.
mimic it, do as best you can. I mean, if it's not broken, don't fix it. Try to keep going with it.
Heck yeah, man. Heck yeah. So we talked about the Daytona track a little bit, but in your what would be your best track and your worst track overall?
Ugh.
Kind of exclude the road tracks because road courses, because ain't none of us done.
Okay, so
anything
excluding road courses, I would say my best tracks are honestly like Richmond. Obviously, is one of my favorite tracks. It's the track that I won at last year. I like Gateway. Is those types of tracks. I like tracks where you have to brake a little bit. I like the shorter tracks. I like tracks where you have to brake a little bit, but not like one lane tracks where you can, maybe pass somebody on the outside coming out of the corner if you're able to get on it just a little bit better than they are. That type of a track. And normally, honestly, wherever Brian Dees tends to be fast, I tend to be fast. Apparently, we have a very similar driving style because, like, literally every time he's fast somewhere, usually I'm like right there with him. So we're always fighting each other for wins.
but you're not trying to steal people's souls.
No, I'm not trying to do that.
So stats just came over. You finished third and first at Richmond last year.
Yeah. Yeah. I like Richmond a lot.
Thanks, Taylor.
But, I
Appreciate
mean,
that.
honestly, like, Richmond was the first NASCAR race I ever went to was at Richmond. Like I said, I grew up in Virginia, like, Hampton Roads, Newport News area, Virginia Beach, that whole area is where I grew up, and so my dad used to take me to Langley. First NASCAR race I ever went to, I think the first Busch race I ever saw, Mark Martin won it at Richmond, and then the first, like, NASCAR race I think I ever went to, I think it was I wanna say it was Jeff Gordon that won, but I don't remember exactly who won, but I just remember those were, like, some of the best memories I had.
Nice. Yeah, mine was Watkins Glen. My dad used to take me there when I was young. That's how I got started. I think I started going when I was like 6 years old. He used to start taking me with him for the whole weekend.
Yeah. I'd say if for worst track, I probably would have to go with I I really hate Kansas, is the one that I
You
hate.
don't like a wall? Is that what you're
I
saying?
di I don't mind the wall, the problem is I really hate, like, that it's a single groove track, and basically the only way to pass is if the person in front of you has to screw up, hit the wall, you have to be far enough behind them that you don't run into them and can go under them while they're in the wall, and then go around them, and then go back up next to the wall again.
Sounds like you're following me. I ain't done
Yeah.
yet.
Yep. I saw that last night again.
We'll get to that in a little bit, Corey. We'll get to that in a little bit. So, one thing I know you've been running the 76 that you started. Is that number have a special meaning behind it or anything, Rick?
No,
Just a number. Okay.
honestly, so my number to begin with, I was a Harvick fan. So first, I was a Kel Yarbrough fan when I was growing up. Like I loved Kel Yarbrough growing up, and then when he retired, I liked Dale Jarrett for a little while, and then finally after a while, I just didn't really have a driver. I just kind of followed racing. But then when Harvick came along, I really liked how Harvick raced, and especially when he jumped on Ricky Rudd's hood that one time. So I was like, yeah, I gotta follow this guy. I like this guy. So I started being a Harvick fan. So I started out with 29 all the time, and then he went to four, and I was like, all right, so I'll go to four for a little bit. And but yeah, after a while, I was just like, I need to do something on my own that isn't always taken in iRacing all the time because everybody always has the same numbers all the time. So I was like, I need to find something that's kind of like not as popular as 8 and 3. you know, I mean, they're awesome numbers, but like they're always taken when you go to like a new league. Like one of the first ones to get taken up. And so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go to 76 because I'm old and I was born in 1976. So that's why I'm 76 because I was born in 1976.
Oh my!
And that's why my dad is 46 because he was born in 1946.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Oh. I'm having a drink. You guys ask a question.
So, what made you guys start back up the ASRL League?
Like I said, the the main thing was that I wanted to have the same kind of racing environment that I had on Sunday. And honestly, the ASRL league was a league that I ran back when we were still doing NASCAR 2003.
Yeah, because I saw you were saying it was like an older league that
Yeah,
you guys were brought
it's a
back.
very old league. It's the league has been around since 1999.
Wow.
I took it over probably around 2004 maybe ish, and I ran it for a long time with NASCAR 2003, and then when we went into iRacing, um, I tried to pull it into iRacing. We were actually the number 13 if you look at league number at the top in the like when you pull up your league at the top of the address, it tells you what league number you are. We're number 13, so we're the 13th league that
Oh,
got
wow.
registered in
Wow.
yeah. So we're really old. I was there in beta testing for iRacing. I was, one of the first guys that got my hands on it, and I've been in it for a while. You would think I'd be a lot faster than I am now, but it is what it is.
Derek, we're going to give everybody a chance to talk here. I just want to get through some questions with Rick. So we'll get off on a tangent here shortly.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
guarantee we will. And
Oh, the
Gail,
other thing I was gonna tell you, like, I've raced with so many, like, people that probably everybody knows. Like, I raced with Ray Alfala, like, several years I raced with him, like, a lot of years. I raced with Dale Earnhardt Jr. in the DMP league. I've been in that league. I've been in a bunch of leagues. So, I mean, I literally one of our broadcasted races, I think Amanda, I'm assuming you're a Dale Jr. fan.
Indeed.
Okay, so one of the broadcasted races that I ran in DMP was we ended up I was one of the top 3 finishers, and of course Dale won the race, and so we all got put in the broadcast like waiting area, and I got to like literally just sit there and bullshit with them for like 10 minutes while we waited to get
that's cool.
interviewed.
Yeah, that's
That's
awesome.
awesome.
It was like the most surreal like experience, like just sitting there like bullshitting with the guy, like after you sit there and race with him.
I
It was
love that
cool.
he's a commentator now. I could listen to him all day. His voice is so squeaky, and he was like the worst interview ever. He was like totally, I don't know what to do with my hands. The car ran good kind of guy, and he is amazing to listen to.
Hi, Gail.
I think
See you
didn't
too.
didn't Daryl Waltrip say to Senior one time, like, your son belongs changing oil or something, like he's an idiot? Like, I think he said something like that way back in the day. I remember hearing that, and for the longest time I actually thought that. I'm like, he's not the smartest one, but he's cute. But yeah, he's pretty smart. I love listening to him on the TV.
But he's cute.
He's so like just like a regular person when you talk to him. He's so down to earth. It's pretty cool. And he loves iRacing. He loves like, sim racing in general. So like he's a really good advocate for
I think
all
he's
of us.
done a lot for iRacing.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I mean, hell, he's got what track was that?
North Wilkesboro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was because of him. Is why they.
I think he
told
was
me,
pushing for a couple other ones too.
Wouldn't doubt it. Oh, funny. What'd you do?
Derek said not quite as smart as stats here.
All righty. So let's go over some points here. Like you said, Rick, you're in 11th right now. You did not move from last week.
Yeah, you stay in 11th there, Rick Thompson.
Yeah, I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you.
You say you're not getting the top 10.
Because Corey is in 10th, and I'm coming for his ass.
Well, Corey, you had no change whatsoever in points, man. You're still sitting in 10th. Started 8th last night, finished 12th.
Yeah, 14X.
I didn't look at none of that crap, man. So you didn't have no change. Amanda, you started 23rd, ended in 23rd.
Consistency. There you go.
Consistency, right. You're 20th in points. You actually dropped the spot last night.
Yeah, not sure who snuck ahead of me, but you know what? I actually did the weighing it out in my head. I'm like, I really don't want to race this because I have no experience on this track. I go, but I don't want to lose 2 or 3 spots. So the fact I only lost 1, I'm willing to deal with that because I'll try to gain it back someplace.
So we'll go over to Aaron real quick. Of course, he didn't race last. Mr. Unloyalty.
Oh, I thought there was only
He's
3
not
of us
even
on
watching.
T&A Motorsports.
Right.
We got Terry and Amanda.
So Aaron actually dropped the spot in points. He's now in the 15th, and I had no change. I'm still sitting at 34th. But you know what? It's time for me to start racing you guys and start having fun.
Yeah,
I was glad to see you out there. I was glad that you were coming back out. I hadn't seen you in a little bit, and it was good seeing the 86 back up there.
Well, I don't know if you read some of the comments I've actually put on Discord, Rick. I had to take a break, man. I was getting burnt out. I felt like I was taking a lot away from my personal life and
I hear you.
in general. And it's like I just had to step away for a little bit. And we had a nice vacation here a few weeks back, and dude, batteries are charged. I'm ready to rock and roll, man. I mean, we go to Michigan next week. I love Michigan. So it ought to be a good track next week for me, I hope.
Yeah, I like Michigan. I like California better than Michigan, even though they're very close. But California, like, California and Richmond are my 2 jams. Those are, like, my 2 favorite tracks probably in iRacing total.
So
And Dalton wrecked me the last time I was at California, I think.
what?
Yeah, fuck Dalton.
Dalton wrecking people? Dalton doesn't wreck anybody. Come on, man. We know better than that.
Somebody's got to wreck him in the ASRL league.
Yeah, I know. He keeps
Oh,
winning.
yeah. Yes, no crap. But I was looking at something. So I want to touch on something a little sketchy from last night. I don't know if anybody, I know Corey and Amanda, but Rick, did you happen to catch somebody getting thrown out of the race?
I did catch them getting thrown out of the race. I didn't see what happened until after the race, in the replay, but I did see that it had happened during the race.
I mean, everybody, I ain't going to mention the names because I just ain't going
Right.
to throw nobody under a bus like that. But one thing I want to thank public, and I've done it in my write-up this morning, that the league will not tolerate that kind of stuff. So all the admins, our new ones, which being Corey, Amanda, and Aaron, we all got in there last night, looked at the video over and over and over, and finally made the vote to push on with the what I want to call it, penalties. So we'll see what happens from there. But I just wanted to touch on that just for a second. I don't want to beat a dead horse, basically. So that's what we do there.
So Terry,
Honestly, I was
go
gonna
ahead, Rick.
say I was really impressed with how long you guys all were up in the, race control, kind of talking it out, and I could see that you had. I couldn't see what you were looking at, but I could see somebody had like some kind of live stream going where they probably had the
Yeah.
replay up and everything going on, and everybody. I could see, all 3 of you guys were in there as well as all the other admins, and so I was happy to see everybody working together and getting a team effort and you guys just kind of coming together as a consensus and figuring out where to go from there. So I was impressed.
If you read my write-up this morning, I mean, I try to push it as much as I can. If you got a problem, come to us. Let's take care of it that way. Let's not ruin somebody else's races. It's just nuts. Let us take care of it the best we know how to do, according to with the rules that we have to abide by. So, oh well. Other than that, so I mean,
Terry, how was your
ahead,
race
yeah.
last night?
Well, Corey, I was running flipping awesome. Then the 3, I see him coming up on me, and I say, "Hey, man, go ahead and take me on the bottom because you're a little bit faster at the moment." And I looked down to check. I think I was about ready to pit. I was looking down at my black box to make sure my tires wasn't on, and I'll be goddamn if I didn't hit the wall twice.
You went head first in the wall twice. Then you came down the track at me.
Then when I pitted, I tried to stay out on track a little bit, see what it was going to do. Man, I could not get that thing to turn. It was like a tank, man. And so I had, I want to say 6 or 8 minutes of repair. Once I got the repairs there, it would turn. I just didn't have no top end. Everybody passed me. But other than that, I had fun. I learned a lot last night on how to run that track. I think Mark, because I was in there with Mark, we're listening to Mark talk to Amanda. And it helped me out a ton too, Amanda. So Mark knows his shit. So anybody has.
I love when Mark gets on there. Honestly, like if I see Mark in like giving pointers to anybody, like to Amanda or whoever, like I've seen him give them to anybody basically if they jump in there and they're in one of the practice sessions and he's in there, he'll tell you how to run the track. And I mean, like,
Definitely helped me a lot on a couple of the
oh,
tracks.
yeah, I mean, like literally, I think we were at Twin Ring. I don't, I don't think I remember even the last time I had run Twin Ring, and he gave me a whole bunch of pointers, and I almost won the freaking race if Derek Hatton, outpitted me in better strategy at the end. But
Freaking Paulson.
Yeah, I think he
know.
helped me out at Twin Ring too. He got in for like an hour with me and Aaron and
Yeah.
helped us out.
I mean, like you can't beat that. When the guy comes in, then gives you pointers. I mean, it's nothing better you can get from the guy. I mean, he helps out everywhere he can.
So something else I want to touch on just a couple of minutes here. Jamie Walker, man, the 88. Glad to see he came back last
Oh, yeah.
night.
Yeah.
He
Yeah,
was
it's good to have him back.
running strong, man. And I did talk to him. I was texting him a little bit. He did say that everything's fixed on his computer. It's ready to rock and roll. So and he came back in Jamie Walker fashion. I mean, got a third place out of last night, and I believe he led maybe, I don't know, maybe Taylor can tell me. He led 6, 7, 8 laps, maybe. I'm not 100% on how many he led.
He did not lead any laps.
Really?
Nope.
He was up near the front, but I don't think he led anything.
Dalton led 15, Drew led 28, and James led 15.
Okay. I could have swore I heard my spotter say Jamie Walker's new leader.
Yeah, he
Right,
probably
might
didn't
have
lead
been
the
the
lap,
leader,
though. He
but,
probably pitted
yeah.
right after.
Oh, okay. Well, sorry, Jamie, if you get to hear this at some point. I was trying to give you a compliment.
Terry spreading false news again.
Yeah. It's like CBS.
What?
So, of course, Dalton wins another flipping race. I wish Aaron would have been there to wreck.
Did you see the end of the race, Terry?
No.
Oh, it was actually a really good ending. Drew almost spun him out in the chicane, but Dalton caught it.
Well, I give props to Dalton for being able to catch
Yeah,
it.
he held on real strong at the end, and then he was able to pull away.
Yeah, I thought Drew was going to win it for sure, but
Yeah, he was fast.
Dalton, man, I don't know. Dalton's he's got every base covered. It seems like
He does. I mean, he's an awesome driver. I wish he'd give tips once in a while, but
I know.
type of
What the heck?
guy, you know.
Why do you think I got a podium? That's because Dalton was kind of, helping out.
Yep.
We're all sharing the same team speak and just following what he was suggesting along the way, and everybody working together. I would never have gotten a third place finish at all this year unless, he was kind of throwing his pointers out there.
Derek's calling Dalton saying he's cheating.
Trust me, if he did, I think we'd all
Always
know
to
that.
count on Sam to bring us back.
Thanks for bringing us back to Shop Talk, Sam.
Yeah.
No, Sam, I need to have Dalton like us because he's going to be pushed to the end of the road when we go to the Daytona race, and he's going to be the one to go fetch me beers when I don't feel like getting up and my
There
cooler
you
runs
go.
out.
There you go. Oh, yeah. And Dalton was the only driver last night with 0X. That's amazing on that track.
Amanda was close.
Yeah, that is amazing. I couldn't believe that Amanda only had one.
And I did it to myself. That was the worst part. I was just like, you know what? I'm going to survive. I'm not going to mess with anybody. It's like you all had cooties. I'm like, everybody stay away from me. Nobody come near me. It's COVID 6-foot rule. 6 foot, don't fucking come near me. And then as I'm looking in my mirror going, who is that? I looked at the relative box. I'm like, I think that's Ty. Who the fuck? I'm like, I look forward again. I'm like, and I'm in the fucking grass and I'm running over cones, but pulled right back in. And like I said earlier, we were talking. I didn't feel as bad because when I was watching the broadcast 4 or 5 laps later, I saw Jamie do it. So all right, Jamie did it. It's okay.
Yeah. I tell you what, Ty's gotten a lot faster too. Like in this whole season, I think the Xfinity car has been a lot better for Ty than the ARCA car was for him last year. Like I don't know what it is, but he just seems to be, maybe he's just figured out that something that he was doing, but he's been up there a lot.
Same thing with Brian Diesel. We talked to him about last Shop Talk that he looks at Xfinity cars a lot more, and he's been a lot faster this year. He was fast in the ARCA cars, but yeah, he's putting it on. You always see him in the top 5 this year so far.
Yeah, Brian's been killing it this year. I tell you what it's been for me. Like honestly, when I don't know if I should even talk about it or not. Honestly, but
hell, we're all friends here, Rick.
So for me, it's been whoever was, I don't know if I'm allowed to say, but the person that's doing the setups changed.
Yes.
And since the person changed that was doing the setups, all of a sudden I've been faster.
You like those Mark Arthur setups. That's why I love the ASRL and the ARCA. I love the Mark Arthur setups.
So I'm just saying, like, whatever it is with Mark's the secret sauce for me. Like when I get Mark set up in there, it's all of a sudden I'm like, okay, cool. Like I know how to run this. I know where I can push it, where I can get like a little bit of turn in with it with the throttle if I need to. I can get it through the corner, get it fast. But yeah, I've been like way faster ever since Mark's been doing the setups. Like
Corey said it when we joined the Wednesday night league. He's like, "Oh, Mark does the setups here. I'm so excited."
Oh
Like,
yeah, like
especially I know with
literally.
setups with the ARCA cars too, and those
Oh
things
yeah.
you can steer that car with just the brake pedal and the gas
Yep.
pedal.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You don't even have to turn the wheel. You could literally just brake and gas and spin it and corner it through the corner without having to turn the wheel hardly at all.
Yep.
We should have never have said secret sauce because the comments is blowing up right now, like real bad.
So, Rick, I forgot you guys was running the ARCA car, so I got in the race
Yeah,
a week or two ago. I was like, "Oh, I remember this. I
yeah.
love this." And I was,
They're so much fun.
oh my god, they are. But they have no damage model. The damage model just sucks.
Yeah, the damage
Uh,
model fix. But I mean, honestly, like, hopefully nobody's getting wrecked. So, like, let's not
right.
worry about the damage model. Let's worry about the racing model. And the racing's been awesome. Like, honestly, the last race we had, I don't even know, like maybe 3 or 4 cautions. I don't
And what's
remember how
happened
many.
I
though?
don't think so. Not even
That's
that
I think
many.
the only cautions throughout the whole. We were in
Yeah,
that
that's
gateway
what I was gonna say. That was the only cautions we've had the whole season.
because that's why I
Like,
said to Amanda, I was like, "Well, Wednesday night we get to practice green flag pit stops for Sunday."
yeah, yeah. Well, I've honestly, it's been to the point where we haven't had any yellows to the point that I'm looking at, like, I guess Mark has some kind of program
Oh, where it
code
automatically
for.
throws the stages for you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so I think I'm thinking about putting in one stage. We're not gonna do like 2 or 3 like he does at BPL, but we're gonna do probably one stage
like
at
maybe a
some
halfway
point.
point.
Like either a halfway point or right before the halfway point, like maybe like 40% of the race.
I like
So
that.
and then like give points for, at the end of that stage. And then that way if somebody does have like some kind of an issue at the beginning and they get like a lap or 2 down or whatever, that they have a chance. They know there's going to be a yellow at that point and they can get back in the race at that point.
Yeah, yeah, that would definitely work. I mean, like I said, I need to practice my green flag pick stops
I
anyway.
mean, yeah,
So
you can get like trust me, when you come out on Wednesday, you're gonna get some green flag pit stop like practice
oh
in for
yeah.
sure.
What you guys got? Anything? So actually just ask Rick. Rick, how's your race go last night? You finished 11th. I didn't know if you knew that or not, but
Yeah, he did because he saw me in his rearview mirror.
Yeah, I did. But my race was good. Honestly, I I was telling like we were talking earlier. I mean, I felt like before when we started the track, I was like, man, this is gonna suck. I hate this last chicane right before the start finish line. I was like, this thing is gonna just destroy my car. I'm gonna end up somewhere and screw up this whole race because I can't get through the last chicane. But honestly, like maybe 10 minutes before the end of practice, I figured out the chicane finally. It took me almost the whole practice to figure it out, but I finally figured out how to get through it. And I was like, all right, I got the chicane. I'm good with the chicanes now. But as soon as I figured out the chicane, I was like, all right, now I'm getting too fast coming out of the chicane. And now turn one is going to be my problem. And sure enough, turn one ended up being my problem the rest of the night. Like I was good until like maybe laps. I 5 laps to go. I ended up, throwing it straight into the tires, like lost my hood. I was like running around with no hood. Corey's behind me. I'm like, I can't, I gotta beat Corey. I gotta figure out how to stay in front of this guy because I got no hood, no arrow coming to this thing. Hopefully I can figure this out. But yeah, overall, I was honestly like happy with only 9 incident points and finishing in front of Corey. I was good.
that's
See, that's why I think I actually ended up liking the track. We talked about it earlier. I said I liked actually doing this more than any of the short tracks we've done because I was really nervous going into it. I was really nervous about the infield. I liked the rest of the track. Still worried about going, as fast as everybody else on the infield because I don't want to spin out. But watching everybody else crashing and spinning that are so good, like you guys are all really, really good. And the fact that I get to watch all you guys fuck up a bunch of times, like really good racers and stuff. I'm like, oh my God, this actually makes me feel really happy and good. And it's horrible to say, but it shows that you guys are all struggling at certain spots
Yeah.
too. And it makes me feel better. It does.
Yeah,
And I'm
I
sorry
mean,
to say that.
we were talking about going into the pits and missing our pit stop. I mean, like,
Yeah,
I missed
there's no numbers.
yeah, I missed my pit sign, like, it wasn't coming down. All of a sudden, like, it's counting down. I'm like, "Wait a second, I don't even see, like,
Yeah,
where is it at? It's
there's
counting down to? There's nothing there."
there's
And
just a
so,
little
like,
guy
literally
standing there
went
with a
by.
sign.
Yeah, yeah. So I ended up having to back into my pits at one point during one of the, stage ending cautions and lost a bunch of spots from that, but, I mean,
Well, at least you
yeah,
were
it
able to
happens to all of
back
us.
in. I pulled
Yeah.
right up next to mine, looked over, and my guy's like looking at me. And I'm like, you got to be fucking kidding me. Hard turn left and barely got in where it's like, oh, you're too far right. I'm like, oh, thank God. Because I can't find reverse for the life of
Yeah.
me. So,
Well, let me tell you, I'm happy that when we go, I think we're going to Indianapolis at some point, but I think Mark
Yes.
said we're not going to the road course, which I'm very happy
Yeah.
about.
I got a
Dave,
funny
see-
story about last night. So yeah,
ahead.
I got involved with the 20 and the 54 going through the bus stop in the back, got into each other, and I got involved in that. Got put in the tire barrier there, so my car was all beat up. Well, Terry was behind. I think I just passed you or something, Terry. We're coming through the last chicane there. I hit those turtles so hard, my car flew up in there. Terry's like, "Whoa, what are you doing?" I was like, "Fuck this piece of shit." I'm like, "I'm beating the shit out of this car. It's already crumpled up enough." So I had a blast the last stage because I was just beating the shit out of my car, and I was actually working. It was working pretty good.
That's why I like short tracks though, because I feel like you could like beat and bang a little bit more and like, get thrown into the corner, hit the wall a couple times and you're still fast. I mean, you
Yeah.
can drive it around with no freaking front end and still be fast as anybody else.
Yeah, my hood was crumpled up. I had no rear end, and I think I was still doing 159s on it.
Yeah. Dude, I was passing people with no hood.
I was too. I was like, "What's going on?"
I'm doing this, but I'll take it.
Dave Seats actually asked when T&A Motorsports going to do the 24 before the broadcast. Dave, we was actually talking about that a little bit. We're going to try to get Amanda in that Porsche or something, or the Vet, probably the Porsche.
Ooh, we gotta get that's totally different.
Oh my God, yeah,
right there.
yeah. So yeah, maybe we'll do it next season there, Dave, at the February or whatever the hell.
Yeah, we
it is.
talked about it this year, but we never did it.
Yeah, we didn't have a fourth.
Yeah, we didn't. Amanda wasn't in it yet.
Well,
If Aaron doesn't show up like he hasn't been showing
Yeah.
up lately, just
What are
let
you
me
talking about?
know.
There's only 3 of us right now.
But I'll be your fourth if Aaron won't do it.
All right, sounds good.
there we go. We got a fourth now. I suppose he's going to want a freaking T&A shirt or a T&A hat or some shit. Just kidding, man.
oh, Corey, do you want to talk about having low fuel and what happened to you?
Oh yeah, so my first stage was a complete shit show. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna pit halfway through the stage, get some fuel. Well, I used the auto pit iRacing,
Right.
iRacing thing for my fuel mileage and all that. So I have the auto fuel on, so I kept hitting. I was hitting the wrong button when we first started. It kept saying auto fuel on, auto fuel off. I'm like, oh, this stupid thing. I'm like, I need my tires. So I finally got my tires off. So I go in the pit. I stop. They're like, go, go, go. I'm like, oh, damn, that was quick. I'm like, they filled me up that fast. Look at my thing. They put any fuel in my car. I'm like, what the fuck? So I had to go back around. Forgot to turn off my tires. Got tires at lap 8. So that's how my first stage went, Terry.
Oh,
No,
man.
I remember, I hear you in the headset through the night. So yeah, I hear you. So there was somebody, Dave, if it's you, please let me know. Somebody says, well, I'm taking all 3 sets of my right side tires.
Well,
Yeah, I
saw
do
that.
remember. I do remember somebody saying that.
Dave
How do you
Seats
even
said-
do that?
I don't know.
Yeah, somebody. Yeah, I don't know who. I can't remember who said that. But yeah, they took all 3 right.
I know that it was like,
Oh, it wasn't Dave. you
especially
said.
with how long it took everybody to get like caught up to the pace car to get back into the
Oh.
pits.
That
It
was
was like,
awful.
yeah, it's like you really had to almost gauge a lap or two after when the caution was going to come out for you to make it around again to finally
There,
be
you
able to
even
pit.
said that. Yeah, you're like, I don't think I'm gonna make it
Yeah.
if
Yeah,
they close for 2 laps, and so we had the pit right before one of
Yep.
the stage ends.
So
yeah, it was crazy.
I pitted
It was like you
as
got a
soon as I caught
15-second break the
everybody.
whole race.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
You're just racing back to the pace car to slow down for a
Yeah.
second. Green
Well,
flag.
well, the crazy thing was at the end of phase of the second stage, John was a lucky dog, and he was
Oh,
so far back that he was like, "I don't know if I'm gonna get the lucky dog." I was like, he's like, "Should I pit?" I was like, "If you pit, you're not getting the lucky dog at that point." I said, "So you got to go around." And it took him literally. We had all come in, pitted, gone back out. We're still behind the pace car, and he still hadn't caught us. And he finally
Yeah.
caught us. But by the time we got going back green again, he had pitted, but he was like halfway around the backside of the track in order
Jeez.
for him to get his lap back. But I
That
was like,
was
at least your
awful.
lap back. At least you got your lap back. I mean, it's better than nothing. But
Yeah.
I
See,
mean,
like
yeah, it took
caution
forever.
laps are supposed to be that quick, like, oh, okay, like
Yeah,
Corey can light a cigarette during a race. I can't with the VR goggles, so I keep a little vape next to me just to kind of calm my nerves. And like at that point, I either didn't vape at all, or I'd put it in my mouth, and I was too scared to take my hand off the shifter, so I would just leave it like sitting there. And there was no actual calming down because even at one point, I'm like, why the fuck's the pace car going so goddamn fast? Like it was flying.
We were watching the broadcast
yeah,
and it
it's
looked like
tough.
it was flying too.
oh, I caught up to it, and I was going into turn one when I finally got past it, and man, he blew by me. I said, "What the hell? I don't think he should be going that fast," but he did. Pace car, that is. So
Let's
let's talk.
let's go
Go
over the
ahead.
banners.
That's what I was just starting.
Yeah, it's banner time. So we got Aaron Bach over the number 44. That's 11th at Gateway in the ASRL Wednesday night. Me and Amanda actually caught the tail end of that race, and we were rooting for you, Terry. You were coming up on
Well,
him.
I'm going to go over something here with Rick
Yeah,
in a second.
yeah.
Just keep going. Just keep going. I'll get you in a second, Rick. Go ahead. Keep going.
Okay.
The banner.
So then Aaron got his second banner. If he raced this one, he probably would have had the hat trick, but you know, he bust out. Aaron Bach over number 44, second at Lanier. I think that's how you say that. ASRL Dirt, you got beat out by Mark Arthur. And then Corey Sherman, number 3. No, Chris and Rick, I am not giving it to her because she had one incident point. I drove a beat up race car for her.
Zero when they
It's
said
just-
it.
Yeah. See, I had a black eye last time because I told her she had to earn it. 12th at Daytona Road and blazing pedals.
So the ASRL race that I actually got into, and you realize I only had 15 minutes of practice for that. I got in with 15 minutes left of practice. There at one point, Rick says, "Terry, you better get going, man, so you get that banner." I said, "Well, I ain't gonna worry about it. Hell, Aaron's 2 laps down. He's behind me. What a son of a bitch!"
And then he got it.
Oh, he played a tire strategy and a very good tire strategy. I was still faster than him because he
I
had
wanted you to have it. I was like,
I know, we were
I
rooting for
was like,
Terry.
come on, Terry, you can do it. I want you to get that banner.
Yeah, Terry's got to get his cherry pop still.
That's right. That's right. But,
Well, I saw him up there. I was like, oh, he's competitive. He's running around good. He's like really fast. He's like, he was. I mean, you were doing great at the time. I think I passed you because I had better tires than you at that time because I think I just grabbed mine and you hadn't grabbed yours yet. But I just come around you and that's what I said it to you. I was like, oh, Terry, like make sure you're in front of it because I knew Aaron was in there too. I was like, come on, you can do it. And I was trying to give you like, stay in front of Aaron.
and at that point, I was 2 laps ahead of him.
Yeah.
But, the way the cautions fell and the way he was able to take his tires compared to the way I took mine, I just could not compete with him going into the turns. I was faster on the long run on the straights, but in the turns, man, he just walked away from me, and I just wasn't no catching up to him. I had no more tires either. But that's okay. I don't mind. Aaron done a hell of a job, man.
You're going to have to come out more Wednesdays so you get that banner.
Can I get off? So I drive a truck for a living.
Yeah.
And I never know really what time I'm getting off of work. It might be 6 o'clock. It might be 11 o'clock. I have no clue. And trust me, Rick, if I'm home, I'm racing.
Well, that's why I was telling you, like, I know I had talked to Mark before you had actually ended up joining. And I was like, Mark, why is Terry not wanting to join? Because I know that sometimes he's off on Wednesday nights, and sometimes he's not. I know that it's hit or miss, for him. And he goes, well, he just keeps saying, that he doesn't want to get in there and mess up somebody else's race or anything
That
like
was a yes. That's a yeah.
And I was like, it's not about that. It's like, just come out and have fun. That's
Right.
the whole reason why we're out here is to just freaking show up and have fun. Like, come out and race, man. I don't want I don't want anybody thinking, oh, I don't want to mess up anybody else's race and come out. Screw that. Come out and have a good time, man. Like, come out and race your race and enjoy it. That's the whole reason why we're out here is to have fun.
Yeah,
I can get
exactly.
home now, if I can get home in time on Wednesdays, I will definitely be there. I did have a question. I think you guys do. If you don't practice, you have to start at the end of the line, right?
We don't do that.
Do you guys do anything like that at all? If there's no practice involved?
So if you come in like dead right at the end of practice, you can still qualify. You can still race.
That's true, Derek. Now, did you guys do the at fault, right?
Yes. So we do because we're trying to keep the numbers up. Like, if we ever get to the point where, we've got a consistent like 30 plus, car count probably, then we'll go to a live admin at that point. But until we get to that point where we have like a consistent number of drivers showing up every week, we were like, we want to keep the numbers up because obviously, everybody likes racing around other people. And so, we're trying to keep the admins racing at this point. So we do an out fault system where basically if you cause a yellow and you know that you caused the yellow, then we just ask that you say, hey, I self-spun or I hit that guy, I caused the yellow. And then we give you the same type of penalties that, BPL gives out. And if it's some kind of a racing deal where, both parties are like, no, that guy is the one that caused it, and the other guy's like, that guy's the guy that caused it, then we'll go back and we'll review it at the end of the race, and we'll give out a penalty post race at that point if we feel like we need to do that, but we want to make it so that obviously we can keep the car counts, solid, and keep them up there because nobody likes racing around there when there's like 7 guys out there. So we want to make,
Right.
we want to keep it high.
I have a question. Since we missed Gateway and I haven't been involved in the race with cautions, how
Sure.
did that fault work for Gateway?
It did actually. Everybody in the race, like, that when we had a yellow every single time, somebody called it out, and it worked great. So
nice.
I mean, we haven't had any issues with it yet. If it turns out that we start having an issue with it, then obviously we'll go to a live admin at that point. But I think right now we have a really good set of guys that, most everybody understands what's going on, and they, nobody wants to get the post race penalty. If you got a choice of getting the end of longest line and just starting at the end of the line and not having any
Exactly.
more penalties, or getting some kind of points penalty at the end of the race, which are you going to prefer? So I mean,
exactly.
I think it works for the most part, and it's obviously some people don't like it, some people do, but we're trying to do the best we can to keep the car counts up and keep everybody happy.
And I think your car counts are pretty good here lately, aren't they?
Yeah. Oh, they've gotten much better since we've gone to the ARCA cars, and since we've gotten the Mark Arthur secret sauce setups.
I know in some of my write-ups, I try to push you guys, the ASRL.
Oh, I really appreciate it
try
too.
to
I
get
really
more,
do.
try to get more of our guys over there. I would love to see it. It's totally different car, same rules that we've had in the past. Basically,
Yeah.
It's just I like it because now I'm not an admin, and I can kind of
You can relax and drive.
exactly. I can relax and drive. It's like shit. If I hit this guy, I'm gonna have to hear about it because I'm an admin. It's like,
No, you're not an admin, so you can just go. You're just a driver.
I've had that happen a couple seasons ago that somebody says, "Oh, great, I get taken out by an admin." And it's like, Sorry. It
I
happens.
mean,
I like it
everybody's
because
goofy,
it's
human.
more seat time and everything too. I
Yeah,
Yeah.
it
taught
is. It
doing
is.
multiple leagues and everything, and it's nice again because I know the driving style of the majority of the guys, and even the guys that aren't in BPL. Like I've already learned, like Philip and a few of them, I've already learned their driving styles, and it's just more seat time and getting to know tracks that I haven't raced yet, and it's fun. Like there's no excuse
I
not
will
to
tell
unless you're
you,
busy.
yeah, no, I will tell you, seat time, nobody wants to hear it, but seat time is the biggest thing that you can do to get
Oh,
fast.
it's
Oh,
just
definitely.
right. It's so obvious just with the tracks that I'm better at. I'm not great at any of them, I don't think, but I'm better at the ones I've spent more time on. It's
Yeah.
very obvious, and I am a repetition person. If I do it over and over again, I'm going to get good at it. And there's times where I have to look at Corey and have I raced this track? And he's like, no. How do you not know? I'm like, I don't fucking know because some of them literally look exactly the goddamn same. So the fact that I could jump in your guys' league, feel comfortable. Most of you know me already, and the ones that don't probably ask their other people, who is this person? How does she drive? Or at least watch the way I do so that they learn how to get around me when I'm going really slow. But it's more time on tracks I don't know. And it definitely just anything to build the confidence in the track time
Yeah,
or
even if
seat
it's in
time.
a different even if it's in a different car,
Yep.
I mean, knowing, I'm sure that it I think you guys both ran Sonoma, right? And so,
Yeah.
like, we're going to Sonoma later in
Yeah.
BPL,
Couple
and
weeks. Couple
yeah,
weeks.
and that's
Yeah,
gonna
on our
help both of you
anniversary.
guys. That's gonna
Yeah.
help both of you guys if you're running that on Sunday at BPL, if you're not out doing something for your anniversary. If you're racing,
We're
We're
racing. We're
racing for
sponsoring the
it.
race.
oh, right on. Hell yeah. Hell
And
yeah.
I have something special for that race too.
Oh
Well,
shit!
I
Yeah.
mean, I think that's gonna help you, the fact that you ran it in the ASRL, it's gonna help you
Yep.
because 'cause you're gonna remember, all those things
Yeah,
like,
because
"Okay,
I hadn't run it since officials in
yeah,
like February, and I did decent then. I think I mentioned that I brought up my safety rating the most in Sonoma and any of my other races, but I was also racing a bunch of other dipshits. There was maybe 15 people in the race, and we were all spread out. So
right."
I was more confident going into that than I should have been, but it was good to have it because I didn't realize Corey had mentioned too that it was a little bit different than what I ran in the official. So it gave me practice realizing there was different turns in there that I didn't realize.
Oh, with the little bus what is it?
I think
Yeah,
there
she
was
was
3
racing
turns.
the old style.
Oh, not the new one, not the
Yeah,
new one
with
with
the
the,
little inside part.
So it
right.
helped me learn it ahead of time. But Sam, I race you hard, but you also wreck me and
Yeah,
think
you
you're
clip her
clear when
nose
you're
off
not
in the
clear.
entry league, Sam.
Yeah.
Who you
Like
texting,
definitely
Terry?
not
You
clear.
texting Aaron?
Well, Sam wants everybody
No,
to be on dirt all the time. Sam
Actually,
always wants dirt everywhere. Dirt,
Yeah.
dirt,
Hey.
dirt, dirt, dirt.
I forgot to send this.
Yeah,
to
Terry
you.
takes me out in dirt all the time too.
It should be in my freaking way.
I
There.
the
Sorry.
yeah.
You know,
I don't know how to run dirt. I'm
I don't
awful on
either.
dirt. I'm terrible at it.
Especially the
See,
last
I-
one.
Like,
The
I
last one
think
was
you
so
and
short.
I end up hitting each other all the time in
Yeah.
dirt because we both know what the hell we're doing.
Oh, you missed a great one. The lanyard that we just ran. It was so much shorter and like it got linear, whatever. And it got so slick. I just kept putting it in the wall. I'm like, yeah, I hit the wall bad one time. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna tow it back to the pits. I'm done.
I asked Casey during the race where all the other Speed Mafia guys was.
I literally hadn't even gotten all my stuff in
Okay.
from the camper into the house.
Holy shit. So you basically got everything together and raced yesterday.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Like literally, while that race was going on, I was still putting my stuff together. And after that race was over, I was testing everything out to try to get it working for that night. That's how it is. Loyalty. Yeah,
Loyalty.
exactly.
Yeah.
Loyalty is right. That's good.
44 don't got no loyalty.
I'm glad you made it though, Rick.
Yeah.
I mean, again,
Yeah, me
well,
too.
you make it every week, buddy. I don't think you've missed a race yet, have you?
I have missed, I think, one.
Was it because you had internet issues or something?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So how are you? What internet are you using when you're in the camper?
So when I'm in the camper, I actually use it's like a hotspot almost type internet, but it comes from It is called a wine guard system, and it's for your camper. I know Corey, you guys said you bought a camper. If you end up wanting to get some internet, you
Oh,
try to
I'm
go
definitely
get.
gonna need internet.
Okay, so if you
You're
decide to get
listening
one,
intently.
yes. So I'll get you the information. Like I'll
Okay.
take a picture of the actual thing on top of my camper, but it's a wine guard system, and it's the 2.0, I think, and you can run it through either AT&T or through Verizon. And I had a Verizon account already, so I run
Yep.
mine through Verizon. And basically, the only problem with it is that you only get 15 gigs of fast internet.
Oh, then they slow you
So,
down.
so the good thing is the problem is downloading updates. That's the problem. Because honestly, like even the slower speed internet, the upload speed is really good on it. And so iRacing works fine with it once you're in it, but it's getting it to boot up. Like that's the problem with it because it doesn't have a fast enough internet connection that it wants to like
Oh,
time
to
out.
load the track and all that.
Yes, yeah. So when it's loading it up, that's when it's having the problem.
Nice. Yeah, definitely give us that info because that'd be awesome
But
to
yeah,
have in there.
I'll send you all the info that we got. But yeah, I figured it out like literally when, like I said, when my wife was like, "Okay, we want to do this," I started doing all this research, started going into everything. Got the thing on the top of the camper. I put it in front of the house. I threw the wheel, my whole setup in there. I like hooked it up, connected it all. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna try to run into like some practice session. Like I was testing it all out, start to finish. Like I'm getting my racing in one way or another.
Oh, I mean, I tell you what, man, I'm glad you got to be able to do that and travel
It's
with your wife.
crazy that I'm able to do it, honestly, but I'm happy it is.
It is crazy. And again, spend that time with your wife. I don't know, you're nuts crazy or something to spend all that time, but she's still watching.
She's not watching right now.
Oh, shit.
She's gonna watch the replay. Fuck that 86.
Yeah, maybe.
I am kidding, of course, but yeah, that's kind of awesome. You guys get to do that.
Oh, Terry, want to see my clips I got?
Sure.
Heck,
Oh,
not
yeah,
ready
I
for
forgot.
I'm
Yeah.
ready for some clips.
Yeah, we got no clips of Daytona Road because nobody wants to show any of our clips because we all didn't have that best of race. But so if you I think it's Friday nights. It was on Thursday. I think it's Friday nights. But Thunder Road in Vermont there, Chris is the crew chief of Adam Maynard's car, number 45, that actually has a Savage Edge sticker on it. And we did a watch party on Discord the one week, and it was fun as hell. But so we didn't get a chance to watch it this week, so because it was Friday night, we were at a festival. So we watched it Saturday night, the replay of it, and we were dying. The commentator is actually Adam's brother, Aaron Maynard, that Chris posted in Discord about that. But I got some clips, and I'll let you guys enjoy them because the commentating is
These
awesome.
are good. These are good.
Here we go.
Now, unofficially, the leader. We're not sure. We're really $8. It doesn't matter. The double super secret handicap system is we put all of the starting numbers in a bag and dump them out. Whichever order they come out in is what order they start in for the feature, but nobody knows it. You all know it now. I've let you in on the secret, but don't tell the drivers because they think there's like a theorem out there. Anyway, there's not. There's no like dry erase board with like numbers pointing all around things like you're trying to figure out the Da Vinci Code. There's nothing. It's a bag of chips. We dump it out. That's the order they started. That's not the real system either, but it sounds a whole lot better. Here, now unofficially.
Yeah, so there's the first one. I got 3 of them. Here's the second one.
Uh-oh. Nick Coughing is about to find out. You cannot look, but if it's very clear that you can see the car out your windshield, you can't blame not having a mirror on dumping a guy. Yep, here we go. All right, here comes the console. Do you know you can't turn that guy? Like, I've never touched him. Never once did I even... He's like, why are you guys pulling me down here? Yeah, yep. They were pushing me from behind, I swear. All right, now you go. Oh, man. I'm in the back. Why am I in the back? I'm telling you, that's what's going on inside. What did they put me back here for? I can't believe it.
And here's the third one. Probably my
Paige
favorite one.
Whittemore, Jamie York, Clay Badger, Flying Fred, Taylor Sayers, Chubby Rambo, Jamie Buck, and all the rest. There was a pile of them. Well, that was heat number one. These guys race for $8 a week. Every one of them. It's a flat fee. We give them $8. They don't keep track of points. We don't even give them trophies, but they don't know that.
There's our clips of the week.
Yeah, we need some nicknames like that.
Flying Fred, Chubby Rambo.
I like there was one no look Nick. I like that one.
One guy's name's Tater. I guess that's what they do in Vermont.
I like the $8.
It's a flat fee.
$8. Flat fee, $8.
There's actually I didn't have time to do the other clip, but there was this guy pulled off the track during the feature. He's like, "Oh, and so's going off the track. Looks like he's not getting his $8 tonight."
We were dying laughing. We just kept rewinding it over and over again, turning it up real loud. It was like 10:30. The neighbors probably were like, "What the hell are these two idiots doing over there?" We were dying laughing. Yeah, I think it's the app that Chris told us about. It's called Flow Racing, FLO, Flow Racing.
Yep, and they have basically all the local tracks that I guess tape them or signed up with them. I don't know exactly how it works, but we watch shit from all over the country. All the small tracks, actually Oswego, that's only 45 minutes from us, they're on there too, and that's the one that, like I said, Chris is a crew chief of the car in, so definitely if you get Flow Racing, check out Thunder Road on whenever they race.
There was one they were watching. There was like 8-year-olds and 10-year-olds racing little buggies and everything. There, as soon as they would start, there was like 25 of them.
Oh, they're the little trophy truck carts. They were going like 10 miles an hour. It's funny as hell. They were crashing into each other and shit.
They're fucking bringing these little miniature tow trucks out and everything, and they're just kind of dragging them off with one hand, like some big redneck just dragging his kid's cart off of the track. It was adorable.
Well, the best part is they'd switch to like the turn when they were coming, and it'd be like 2 minutes. Also, you hear, brrr, they come around the turn.
Definitely worth getting. I think it was only like $12 a month or something silly like that, and we've definitely earned the $12 a month in laughs and really enjoying it. It's a great app, and if you have Roku, we have Roku on all our TVs. There was an app on the Roku channel or the Roku setup that you can get it with too.
Yeah, I got the Roku with a bunch of stuff. Fire Stick and Roku. That's the way to go.
Yeah, we got rid of all our cable and everything. We just stream everything off the internet. I think AT&T.TV is what we use for all our regular channels and all that.
So I was using AT&T TV, but when you go, like, you have to have a LAN connection that you connect to for it to work. So if you do end up trying to use it in your RV, it won't work unless you have a LAN connection that you connect to, like the RV like campsite.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you have to connect to them for it to work. So I ended up switching to Sling because Sling doesn't care where you're at.
Oh, yeah, I'll definitely have to look into that too then.
Yeah.
So Rick, when you go to another place, are you actually hitting a campground or are you staying at the hospital parking? Okay.
So yeah, we usually end up finding a campground, and obviously most of the time, like almost 100% of the time, the internet sucks at the campground. But yeah, so I got hit the campground, sit there, set it all up, try to pay for your laundry, everything. It's a deal. Trust me. You end up have people who's there like permanent and who's there for like a few nights. You can tell literally when you walk right by their camper, you know who's been there for a while.
Yeah, you got the weekenders.
Oh yeah, you can tell for sure who's there and who's not.
So I think earlier you said you're home now for a couple months now?
Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna be home for like 2 or 3 months. My wife, we came back home, decided to, kind of do like a home stand for a little bit. So my wife got a contract up in Raleigh, and so she's gonna be working up there for a little bit, and so I get to hang out at the house for a little bit, get some stuff fixed around the house, and have some good internet again for a little while, and you know, have a big shitting grin on my face for a little while.
Nice.
You're in North Carolina?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we actually that's where we met was North Carolina. I lived there for I think
Nice.
7 years, and what were you 4, 5?
Right outside of Raleigh too, Morrisville.
Oh, okay, yeah, I know where that is. Yeah, like so if I live in a place called Goldsboro,
Okay,
and bas
that's
yeah,
more
it's
south.
basically yeah.
Yep.
So like literally if you took like Raleigh and the beach and you put like a halfway point in between the two, you'd probably hit us. So I'm an hour from Raleigh and I'm an hour from the beach.
Yeah, that's what I loved about North Carolina, living in that area. I think it was like an hour and a half drive to you're at the ocean.
Yeah.
You're like, huh, that's pretty sweet.
Yeah. The other thing I like about North Carolina, honestly, is like you got mountains and you've got beach. You could go to either one.
Yep.
I liked it, but it was just too slow. I used to get frustrated just going to the grocery store. Like, don't you guys have any place to be? And why is everybody so
I
goddamn
like
nice
that.
down here? They're too nice. And like somebody was trying to help me pump my gas one day because I had never pumped my own gas till I moved from Jersey there. And I'm
Look,
like, this guy's gonna try to rob me. Like, get away from me. Why are you talking?
no, I've been to Jersey. In Jersey, you're not allowed to pump your gas. So, like in
No,
Jersey, it's like literally they yell at you if you try to pump your gas in Jersey.
yeah, I didn't know what I was doing, so I was just kind of like looking at my Jeep and looking back at the gas pump. And somebody came over. I was like, "The fuck are you doing? Get away from me!" Like I thought he was gonna rob me or something. Like, get the fuck out of here.
You're right,
Did,
Sam. She doesn't trust
did,
anybody.
did they call you? Did they call you Shug while you're here?
I think I forget what it was, but he was the cutest old guy, and I was like, okay. And he taught me how to pump my gas. So it was so nice. But like, I'd get frustrated at the grocery store. I'm like, come on, come on, come on, come on! Don't you have to go do something? Like, push your cart faster. They're all so
That's
slow.
so funny. Well,
But it
that's
was
where
nice to
my
be
dad's like literally like was born maybe 15 minutes away from where I live.
Well, the weather was spectacular too,
Oh,
except you
I
get
love the
4
weather.
months of like 100 degrees, but we would be like
Yeah,
grilling
the
on
summer
Christmas.
sucked.
Honestly,
Too hot.
like if you think the summer suck here, don't go to Oklahoma because they're way hotter down there.
Yeah. I'll deal with my 3 foot of snow during the winter.
Yeah, yeah.
See, every time we go through a winter up here, I'm like, why the hell did we move back north? Because I hate the snow. Everything about the
Yeah.
snow. I hate the cold. It's just, I'm miserable. But that would be the only thing that I miss about North Carolina is the Novembers, Decembers, and Januaries are much better.
Yeah, we get like 4 full seasons, but no, like my first duty station when I was in the Air Force was at McGuire in New Jersey. So like I had like a good 5 years that I was stationed up in New Jersey. So I know all about Jersey up there.
Well, see, the
across
best
from
7A,
part of
exit
Jersey,
7A on the turnpike.
right
so
across from Fort Dix.
Jersey, I lived in Sussex
Yeah.
County, the most northwest county in Jersey, so it was still country. Like I remember I took Corey to a trip down there. He's like, "Are we still in Pennsylvania?" I'm like, "No, we're in Jersey. I didn't live
Yeah.
in dirty Jersey.
Yeah,
I lived
country
in country
Jersey.
Jersey."
Oh yeah,
It was
there's
nice.
definitely country Jersey. There is definitely some country
Yeah,
Jersey.
I
People
drove
don't
into
realize
dirty
it's
Jersey to
called the
party.
Garden State for a reason.
It's like,
There's
why
a
aren't they
lot
spray
of
tanning and fist bumping around here?
yeah, there's a lot of country out there, especially in southern
Yeah.
Jersey. It's like southern Jersey is a
Yep.
lot of farmland down there.
My brother lives down in southern Jersey, and when we'd go down there, I think the first time he's like, "Jesus, there is a lot of
Yeah,
farms and
yeah.
markets and stuff down here. And
Honestly, I
everything in
learned
the middle is disgusting, but like the very north and the very south is beautiful."
the other crazy thing is I learned how to two-step in New Jersey.
Oh my God.
That's where I learned how to two-step was in New Jersey. How do you learn how in New Jersey?
There's a great things. Corey fought me. Well, he knew he was going anyways. One of my best friend's weddings. He's like, "Oh, we're going to a wedding in New Jersey. Gross. This is gonna be
Yeah.
awful. Best wedding ever." He said he had the best time.
Jersey weddings are the shit. I love Jersey weddings. I like dancing, that's why.
It was
You
like
just wanted to
400
see you wanted to
people
see a
drinking,
gypsy wedding is
dancing.
what you were looking for. You're like,
Yeah.
where's the gypsy wedding at?
I was like, we're just fist bumping, right?
Jersey's the best. I could never live there again. I was a very mean person. I was just like I had the Jersey attitude. That's just what you have there. But
Everybody's like that there.
exactly. It's just the
It's
mentality. You
the
get beat up
mentality.
if
Yeah.
you don't.
Honestly, they look at you like you're from a different planet if you're not like that.
It was
Oh,
a
yeah.
hard adjustment when I moved to North Carolina because I went down there. I was working at the hockey
Yeah,
arena.
everybody's nice out here.
So it was the RBC arena then, and like I remember going in there and I was working, and people were like, "She is the meanest little fucking girl we've ever met in our life." But the executive chef was from New Jersey. His mom was my neighbor, and he understood it, so I didn't get fired right away. But the other employees hated me because I was so mean. But I was mean to them because they were slow. Because almost everybody in North Carolina is ridiculously slow.
Ian, we already talked about you once.
Y'all's not
I
a
ain't
word,
talking
Ian.
about you yet. Yeah, you got to space that. But we already talked about you once, but we ain't doing it
Snow
again.
can get fucked.
Yeah,
I like that.
how the wheel was rigged. Yeah, we haven't talked
Yeah.
about that yet.
Yeah.
I think Chris or Rick put their finger in behind it and stopped the damn thing.
Yeah, just we'll type in
It was a
18.
magnet.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. So
Like
So, Rick-
all I know is Ian had like I think he had like 31 incident points. So let's talk
I
about
always saw him spin
let's
around
talk
in
about
front of me.
that.
I
We can
saw a
do
couple
that.
Ian spins in front of me too. I was like, "Oh shit, glad I'm not
I did.
in tonight."
I did see on the broadcast, Rick, you moved that 5 car out of the way pretty good.
Yeah.
They're like, he's taking it 3 wide, and like, oh, Rick Thompson just muscled his way through. I was like, damn, he just door checked Corey.
So I had come to that spot where the first the backstretch chicane is, and like literally every other person I had come behind had the same breaking point coming into that chicane. Corey like literally was like probably a good solid 5 car lengths back from everybody else. And so when I hit him, I was like, why the fuck were you like breaking that early? Like there is no reason for that. But I felt terrible that I got into it. But I was just glad I didn't spin him more than that.
That's why I said it made me enjoy the race, watching everybody else struggle and have issues in certain spots. I'm like, good, I'm not the only one, and that is why I have slowed down so much, so that I just stayed straight and kept going.
So Corey, if you don't mind, look
Yes.
up to your right and look at your schedule. I know we're Michigan next week. Then I think Sonoma.
Sonoma, Chicagoland, Pocono, Indy, Kentucky, New Hampshire, Michigan, again, Watkins Glen, Dover, Daytona, Darlington. Then we go to the playoffs.
10-4.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, Rick,
So, Rick-
Richmond's not still in the playoffs, so
That's okay because it's the first race in the playoff, and I can get myself locked right in.
so Rick, I mean, you win and you're in, of course. Right now you're sitting 11th. Any kind of strategies going in here out, bud? Or
Dude, honestly, at this point right now, I'm just kind of like I want to catch Corey. Obviously, he's in 10th, and so I want to bump him out of the top 10. But I thought I swear I thought I had it at Twin Ring. I was feeling so good there, and Derek stole that from me. But I mean, at this point, it's just kind of like maintain, get a good kind of flow going, nice little rhythm, and just stay where I've been running. If I finish, I hate finishing 11th every time, but if I finish 11th every time, I'm gonna stay in the top 16 and I'll be in there, so it'll be
Yeah.
fine.
oh, is that where you finished last night? Wasn't it? Was 11th? Yeah.
It's
We
11th
went
every
over
time.
this. He always finishes 11th.
11th every time. I must have more 11th place finishes than anybody else in the league.
let's see.
I have to. I literally I don't have hardly any top 10s or top 5s. I think I have like 2 top 10s, 1 top 5 because everything is 11th.
Oh, Corey's going to find out.
I
you
know
have,
for a fact.
You have 1 top 5 and 2 top 10s.
Yeah, 1 top 5, 2 top 10s. But the 1 top 10 is one of the top 5s. The rest of them are all like 11.
Oh, well, hell. At least you're having fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm having a good time, and I'm moving my way up, so it's fine.
I did notice when I looked at the standings from, let me see, from last race, I had 5 bonus points, and you had 9 penalty points. I had 14, which canceled out, so you only gained 1 point on me last night.
Yeah, I know. I know.
Well, Sam, I don't know how much bullshit strategies that are. It's letting him win. I think he's doing a pretty damn good job of his strategies. Talking about Dalton.
I don't know how he saves the fuel that he does. Honestly,
There
I
was
have
no fuel
clue.
saving yesterday. There was no damn.
No, not yesterday, but like there's been so many races where I've been like, there's no way he can make it, and he still makes it. And I don't know how he does.
Me and Amanda were actually talking about that during dinner. We were watching the rest of the broadcast because our power went out last night when we were like 8 laps in. And I was like, do you even know how long a fuel run was last night? She's like, no. I'm like, because our little thing pops up when you cross the start-finish line, but then you got to go into turn 1 and through that, so then it disappears. I was like, I don't know. I'm like, I think Terry said 8 laps at one point. So.
You was pushing. If you can get 9, you was pushing that. So I was pitting on 7, or trying. That was my
I
strategy.
literally would look up real quick because I was worried I'd miss shifting at the right spot or something because Mark told me exactly
you
where
can
to
only
shift.
do it in the 2 spots, like in between the backstretch chicane, basically.
I didn't want to look up to see because it says you have this many laps left. And I didn't want to fuck with my relative box or anything, like a little black box. So I glance up, I'm like, okay, I got 5 laps left, and I felt like the very next lap I'd look up and be like, pit this lap. I'm like, what the fuck? Where did my last 5-6 laps of gas go? I was just losing track of it left and right.
Yeah, don't look at that black box on Daytona Road. That makes miss chicanes a lot.
Yeah,
or hit the wall.
Or right into the cones.
Yeah.
Well, I still use my mouse to do my tires and fuel. I mean, I have a button. Well, I have a button on the steering wheel to put me in that box, but I still use the mouse to click it on or off. So that's what kind of screwed me last night.
Yeah, I have a button that basically will turn off the tires or turn on the tires because at this point, I mean, I do have a button that will just only do the right side and the left side, but I hardly ever use that one. So honestly, it would take me a little bit to remember where that button is, but it's usually just on or off is how I do it.
Now, is that in this? Is that in the game setup? You can do that.
Yeah, you can there's a code that you can put into your under the options. You know how you have the pass right, pass left type thing? You can actually put in code into that area where if you hit the button, it'll do, your pit stuff.
Okay. Huh. Did not know that.
Yeah.
I was happy to hear, and somebody chimed in and said it in some phase or another during the race when I was practicing, and Terry said something to me. I didn't answer him for a quarter of a lap, and then I hit the button and I replied back. I'm like, I'm sorry, when I'm in the infield or I'm in a turn and I have to shift at the same time, I can't hit the button.
It's hard to hit the button and talk at the same time, especially if you're trying to shift gears or go through it.
I was so happy somebody did that during the race. They're like, hey, sorry, meant to answer you before or whatever it was. Yeah, and I was like, oh.
Brad Collins with
Brad
me.
Collins.
Yeah.
Okay, because I was like, thank God other people can't do it, because I thought I was just I'm sorry, I'm going to say it. I thought it was a retard that I couldn't hit a button and speak while driving a video game at the same time. I thought I was just stupid.
Dude, John yells at us all the time when we start talking. If he's in the middle of some intense battle or something, John Perkins will be like, "Shut up! I'm right in the middle of something. I can't talk right now."
We have that, don't we?
Yeah, sound familiar, Terry? That 44 says that to you a lot.
Fuck up.
I think it was Pocono last year. He said that to you.
John will get mad at us too because my dad likes to talk through qualify. John will literally be wanting total silence during qualifying, which is fine. I get that. I understand it, but my dad, he's still my dad doesn't care about qualifying at all. He's like, my dad is like, I'm going to be at the back anyway.
Yeah, as long as I'm faster than that fucking 86.
hope you look. My dad has gotten a lot better though because
Yes.
I got him to finally upgrade a couple of his things. Like he's gotten a better wheel, and since he got the better wheel, like he started getting a lot faster. And finally, he was like, "Oh, I see why you spent a little bit more money on your wheel." I was like, "Yeah, because
Same thing.
you can feel the bumps and stuff a
Yep.
little bit better in the force feedback, and it will make you quiet."
That's
There
why I want
was
the butt kicker so bad because I want a little more of the
Yeah,
real life
rigged,
experience.
Yeah.
rigged.
Because, yeah, Corey's got the subwoofer underneath and it broke one race or it wasn't working right one race. And like, I didn't feel right in my rig because I couldn't hear or feel the floor shaking underneath us. And I'm like, I want to have that. So if I don't win it this
I
season, I'm
did,
just going to
Sam.
buy one.
I made that
There you
picture
go.
because that
There you
was
go,
for
Ian.
20. That was for
There you go,
20th
Ian. We
spot.
talked about you. Ian, we talked about you. Rigged.
Yeah.
Rigged.
Rick, are you seeing the comments?
Yeah, about
Oh, yeah.
that Photoshop thing I did with your dad flipping off Terry as he's going for
Oh,
20th
that was
spot.
amazing. That was amazing.
And then
Look,
then
my
Terry
dad-
Simulation.
wanted to
My
order
dad
shirts.
even loved that. My
Yeah.
dad even thought it was funny. And my dad, look, like, so this is something probably most people won't know. My dad is Mormon.
Oh, really?
And so that's like crazy for him, like to be flipping the bird off to somebody, but he even thought it was hilarious.
The best part was Terry wanted to order some shirts from me, and I told him that you can use code top20, but you finished 21st, so you can't use the code for 20% off.
But that's where the finger flip came from.
Yeah.
That was amazing.
Top 20,
It was so
bitches. Oh, we picked on Terry so much. We're like, we see Fred come in. We're like, Terry, your rival just showed up.
I wish I could remember what track it was. Is Charlotte, Atlanta, some shit like that. And your dad would not move out of the center where I needed to go. And I know I was cussing at him, but it was all in racing, and it was fun.
yeah.
I was like, "Come on,
I
Fred,
just
move
know-
the fuck out of the
Look,
way."
I tell him, I'm like,
It was this year, right?
Just be
Because you're like,
predictable.
Fred is racing the shit out of me right
Yeah,
now. I remember
I
you
w-
saying that. I'm like, he's gonna beat you.
I literally tell them, I'm like, just be predictable, run your line. If they're faster, they'll go around you. They'll find a way to get around you. Just be predictable.
Oh, I think, what was it? It was Texas, wasn't it, in the first race we did with ASRL, and I took tires accidentally in the first pit stop. They just changed my tires.
You did.
And your dad's coming up on me. I'm like, fuck, Fred's fucking racing me hard. I'm on 80 level tires right now.
I'm telling you, he'll come. Look, when he passes anyone for position, he's happy.
When I seen him disconnect last night, I was sad. I mean, I was like, "Come on, man, go ahead and race, Fred. It's not a big deal."
Well, like I said, he says it was sound. We'll
I
see.
know.
We'll see.
We'll see.
I think I'm sure it probably was because he probably would have at least stayed in the server. I probably could have talked him into like joining later on. But yeah, he hates road courses with a passion. And he's always asking me, like literally he'll ask everyone like in practice, he'll be like, so where do I need to be for when all the fast guys come up to me? Should I be at the top or should I be at the bottom? Should I have them pass me at the top or should I have them pass me below? And we're always like, be where you need to be, where you can hold your line
Right.
and tell
Well,
them to go around you.
Let them know that I said about Daytona Road, be more nervous about the guys that
Yeah.
are really confident because I was more nervous. Like I said, I was treating some of you guys like you had cooties or COVID. I was like, you stay the fuck away from me because I watched your ass spin out 4 times already and you're one of the top
Yeah.
guys. So, and like the guys that kind of ride in the back with me, I was fine near them. It was some of the really aggressive, too hard, too good drivers. I'm like, just go by. I will lose a lap because I don't even want to be near you motherfuckers right now because we're all
Exactly.
spinning each other.
Yeah,
Dan,
Sam, I gotta
will
find
wreck
that
Fred.
picture.
I will wreck Fred before
Ha.
I push him to a win.
Yeah,
I'll
I
push
got.
his ass to a win. Trust me. Look, I've been trying to get him to get more like this is my main thing is I've been trying to get him to get more comfortable at plate tracks because I know that's like the best chance that he's got. So I've been like trying to get him to where he's more comfortable with being pushed and pushing and being around other cars on a plate track because it's I mean we all know like we we get really nervous because if you do one wrong thing, like the whole field is
you're
like
taking everybody out.
They
And-
used to do
yeah.
that with me. Like literally, that was all the practicing they did with me for Charlotte and Daytona. They were like, they all just bunched up on me on the track. I'm like,
Yeah.
no way. They're like, no, you're gonna practice this,
you
and
need
you're
to
gonna
know.
practice
Yeah.
when they're around you, because that's
Yeah.
when I get the most nervous. I'm like, oh fuck, there's 5 guys coming up on me, and I
Yeah.
usually let off and I get out of the way. They're like, get the fuck back in the line and
Yeah.
just struggle through this till you get used to it. I think I said it a few times. A few of the first few races, especially during the Open, my foot was shaking on the pedal. I'm like, fuck, like right in the middle of these guys, and you gotta force it or it's never gonna go away.
Yeah, we try to shove him in the middle and like make him lead, and we try to work on his line and everything. Because trust me, there is nothing more than I want than to push my dad to a victory at like Talladega or
Oh, that'd be
Daytona or
awesome.
something.
Someday it's gonna be me and Fred and Michael Falk all
Oh,
fighting for the win.
Look, I will push you to a win. I will push Dad to a win. I love it when people win for the first time. Like that's the best. Like when somebody's up there and like you don't normally
Rick,
see
you gonna
them
push
up
me
there.
to a win?
I mean, if you're still in 10th, then no.
I haven't won yet.
All right, maybe. Maybe. I
I'm
thought
ready
you
to
had
fight.
one by now. You haven't won a race on
Nope.
PPL?
Nope.
Dude, you're fast enough. You should have won one by now.
Nah, I
You
shoot
close
myself
to
shoot myself in the foot all the time.
Ah,
when you take tires on lap 7.
you know,
Yeah,
that
that was
doesn't
every
help.
time,
That
man.
doesn't
I was
help.
on a different tire strategy than everybody else.
Yeah, you got it. If you're up there, dude, yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
I'm all
so
about first wins. I'm all about first wins, getting that first win in.
Yeah.
Sam,
Oh,
see
yeah.
if you can find that picture, because I think it was last year in Discord, or I'll try to find that.
Yeah,
here and look at it for-
that picture was awesome.
I will put that on a t-shirt, and I will wear that on Shop Talk.
Oh,
Yeah, I
But
think it's freaking amazing.
so it looks like little Tear Bear's got to go to bed.
yeah, I gotta
so,
get out of here, guys.
so we're gonna end it here. Yeah,
I
start
will say-
scrolling.
Let me say,
Yeah, let's go through everything here.
I've said this before and I'll say it again real quick. I love when you guys come on Shop Talk, because Rick, I've never really talked to you much like over like teams, not team speak, but like race chatter or anything. And not that I ever really had an opinion of you, but I never really was going to talk to you because I'm like, I don't know him. He
Right.
seems like a man's man and everything. I don't really know what to say to him. But like, I didn't want to say
There
to
you
him or
go.
anything. So it's nice to get to know you guys like on a personal level, because you're
Yeah.
funny. You swear a lot. You tell a lot of jokes and everything, and like I'm much more comfortable near you now, and
Well, good.
so
Good.
appreciate having you on.
Well, I'm glad. I'm glad to put a face to the name everybody sees on there, and
Yeah.
like I said, I'm hoping everybody's comfortable around me. I hope everybody thinks that I race clean and race hard and everything, and that was really happy that you guys asked me to be on. And I've had a good time.
Yeah, Rick, thanks for coming on. I'll still race you as hard as I always do on the track. So
Absolutely, better.
First off, Rick, again, thank you for your service to our country. I really do
Yeah,
appreciate
definitely.
that. And give your wife a big thanks too for what she
will.
does. I mean, I'm yeah, it's probably a fun thing to do, but I'm sure it's a little headachy sometimes for you guys
It
too.
does.
So, but again, appreciate everything you and your wife does for everybody. So, with that, I am going to go to bed. I'll let Corey sign us off.
All right. Well, thanks for everybody for joining us. Thanks for Rick Thompson coming in, number 76. Definitely check out ASRL if you want to get in the league. And I do the streams every Wednesday night on T&A Motorsports. I stream the races and stuff and try to put them up for the guys to watch, even though you just hear us bitching at each other. But yeah, thanks again for everybody tuning in. We had Dave Seats, Ian, Sam, Derek.
My girlfriend Gail was here tonight.
Yeah,
too.
yeah, my mom
Nice.
tuned in.
Dad said he's gonna watch tomorrow, so
all right,
Right.
yeah,
All right, cool.
yeah, you
Cool.
could,
Hi, Fred.
yep, he can hear that Terry's his rival.
Yeah,
I
that'll be
don't think he knew that.
no.
Oh, great.
All right, guys. So we will see you guys next Monday after the Michigan race, and this Wednesday we're running what, New Hampshire, I
New
think.
Hampshire. Yep.
And I don't even know we're running dirt. I just
I
show
have
up.
no clue.
I just show up for
I just
that
show
one.
up. Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. So until next time, see you guys later.
Bye, guys.
All right. You're muted.